This is the Angels POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Los Angeles Angels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What is going on, everybody? Oh my goodness. Hello, Halo Nation. Hello, Halo hopefuls, and welcome back. Oh my gosh, you guys are making me die. You guys are making me die laughing. Hello, Halo Nation. Hello, Halo hopefuls, and welcome back to the latest edition. Throw them up. To the latest edition of the Locked On Angels POSTCAST. Coming at you live, as always, after every single Angels game, right here live on the Locked On Angels YouTube channel, and after the fact, both on the channel and wherever you get the Locked On Angels audio podcast feed. If you don't know who I am, my name's Gavin Carlson, and I got a lot to explain. I'll be honest. It's 10:51. The Angels game ended, what, at 9:30? Something like that. I know. You guys are completely valid to rip every single joke in here, right? I don't know if I can put that one, but there are, I don't know which ones I can throw up on the screen, since some of them, I don't know, but this is hilarious. This was making me laugh. Christopher saying it's 9 a.m. here in Moscow. There's no way you're actually in Moscow. If you actually are, that's pretty sick. This was hilarious, saying that I'm going to overlap with the Halo Bros Daily Show. Hilarious. You guys are hilarious, but I am here. I have some explaining to do. People in here saying they're barely staying awake. People claiming I was on a date. No, I was not on a date. Moral of the story is I was not in my room. I was not at home. And my plan was to do the show on my phone, right? I've done that a few times, and you're accusing me of things. I promise. I'm just very tired. I promise. Apparently everyone's saying I got to open my eyes. I promise you, I'm just tired. You guys are accusing me. I'm trying to host a show, guys. Come on. And for those listening on the audio podcast, I'm sorry. You probably have no idea what's going on. Moral of the story is the Angels game ended at 9:30. It's 10:50, but we are live. Moral story, my plan was to do my show from my phone because I was not home. This was all planned. And unfortunately, it wasn't working on my phone. I've done shows on my phone before. You guys have there's been times where there's been technical difficulties with my laptop, and I've done it on my phone. Everything's worked out perfectly. For some reason tonight, it didn't want to work. StreamYard and my phone were not having a good time. They were not having a good time. And so you saw me in here asking you guys, could I do the show in an hour? Would you guys still be here? And I am honestly amazed by how many of you guys said, absolutely, we will wait an hour, Gavin, for this show. So first and foremost, we know this is the best fan base in baseball, but you guys are the best fans of this show in sports media, man. Unbelievable. Appreciate you guys so much for being willing to stay for, an hour after the game ended. And so I raced home from where I was, and obviously I'm in the studio, the second studio, because again, I'm also in the Bay Area and not at home in LA. So a lot going on. But the moral of the story, I apologize for anyone listening on the audio side that has no idea what's going on. Moral of the story is Angels win, baby. Angels 6, Rangers 5, a crazy walk-off win, a walk-off walk. We had everything. We had 3 runs in the first inning. We had a combined 7 runs through the first 3 innings. Travis d'Arnaud getting hits. Walk-off walks. I mean, Lamont Wade with big swings. This game was absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Now, you guys are just going absolutely crazy here in the chat. This is insane. I'm putting it up for 2 seconds. Only 2 seconds. Oh, wow. We got people glazing my appearance. Man, I'll take it all. I'll take it all. I appreciate it. Oh, man. But the moral of the story is the Angels win an absolute crazy game. And so it's pretty fitting that you guys are absolutely crazy here in the chat. You can see I tried to set up my background. I got home, and then suddenly Canva's not working. The background's not working. It's one of those days. But the moral of the story is we were all here celebrating an Angels win. And oh, how great it is. So let's not waste any time. Enough of the hoopla, figuring it out. Let's get to America's favorite segment.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Yes, it is the turning point. And of course, you know where we're going with this one. Let's go straight to the bottom of the ninth inning, all tied at 5. And oh, how great it is to see a guy like Luis Rengifo have a big swing, right? There's been the past couple of weeks, there's been plenty of rumors about us needing to either trade Luis Rengifo if he had any trade value, or more importantly, people were talking about getting a replacement. We need a third baseman. Rengifo's not been playing good third base. Obviously, he's filling in at second right now with Christian Moore on the injured list. And all of a sudden, the last couple of weeks, Luis Rengifo has been able to find his bat a little bit. He's been able to find his swing a little bit. Is he the guy that was hitting 300 for most of last year? No. The guy that was playing in multiple positions, getting on base, doing all that? No. But in the last couple of weeks, he is certainly a competent baseball player again. I mean, let's be honest. The stock can't be any lower on Luis Rengifo, or couldn't have been a couple weeks ago. I was watching a YouTube video. I forget who the creator was, but he was saying the worst player on every team halfway through the season. And he said Luis Rengifo, right? And again, it's not like there's been 13 guys playing amazing baseball and Rengifo was the only one struggling or something, right? There's multiple guys that were struggling. And yet Luis Rengifo was the clear worst player so far this season. I think it's pretty fair to say. But he's quietly been pretty darn good, right? In the last 15 games, he's hitting 271. And mind you, this is a guy that at the beginning of the year was hitting in the 200s, right? He's hitting 230. The OPS is still under 600. But the fact that in the last 15 games, he's hitting 271. He's got 5 RBIs, 5 walks as well. He has a home run, 10 runs. He's being a guy that, getting thrown into the leadoff spot at times, hitting ninth at times, right? So for him to come through here in the top or in the bottom of the ninth, with the leadoff double, 2-2 pitch, good at bat. Absolutely love to see it. He ripped the ball to left field. It was a good at bat, right? A good at bat. That 1-2 splitter, I've seen him swing at that ball before. Let's be honest. If that was Logan O'Hoppe, he's probably swinging at that ball, right? Rengifo takes it, and then 2-2 gets a fastball up and in, 95.4 mile an hour fastball. He rips it 100 miles an hour down the left field line for a leadoff double. Now, again, how ironic, folks, how ironic that we have been talking all weekend about the Angels and the Manfred men at second. Runner on second, nobody out. And take one guess what I was saying here, folks, with Travis d'Arnaud coming up to the plate. And I know he had a huge home run in this game that we will talk about later. But you know what I was saying? I was saying, can we bunt, please? Can we bunt? Can we bunt him over, please? There's nobody out. There's a runner on second base. Did we bunt? Of course not. d'Arnaud strikes out. I'm sitting there fuming. But then Kevin Newman, of all people, with a decently hard ground ball, a first pitch splitter, got a pitch he liked off of Martin, hits a base hit on a ground ball to left field. And now we have first and third for Zach Neto. And boy, oh boy, what happens here? It's a beautiful sight to see. First and foremost, the reputation Zach Neto is building in the majors is proven here when Zach Neto gets intentionally walked, right? This is not runner on second and third and an empty base at first base. This is, we don't want to pitch to Zach Neto. We don't want to pitch to him. So they put Neto on to load the bases for Nolan Schanuel. Extremely disrespectful if you're Nolan Schanuel going, you're walking the guy ahead of me when there isn't an empty guy at first base, an empty spot at first base. Crazy. And so Schanuel comes up, an eventful at bat, foul balls and all that, 3 foul balls, and then he takes 3 balls, and on 3 and 2, he takes the walk for the game-winning run. And let's emphasize how good of an at-bat this was in the sense that there's pitches that guys would swing at. That 2-2 changeup down and away, I don't know. But the 3-2 changeup, that's a pitch a lot of guys on our team swing at, right? A lot of guys. And so this is why I sit here going, and yes, you're exactly right, Enrod. Got to remember, they brought in a lefty. They brought in a lefty for him. So they disrespected him by walking him or walking to get to him. But then they respect him by putting a lefty in. Now, Chocolatey, you're right. Schanuel hits lefties well, but I still think you bring in the lefty in that situation. It's not like the righty was pitching very well anyways. Milner comes in, and again, heck of an at-bat. Lefty on lefty, 2-2 pitchers, a changeup just below the knees. The amount of guys on our team that swing at that ball, it might be everyone else on the roster other than Nolan Schanuel. Let's be honest. So for him to take that pitch and then gets an easier take on a sinker away, it's a ball that's should be cutting back into the plate, but it never got all the way over. He takes it for ball 4, and the Angels win the freaking ball game. And again, you guys are so right. Nolan Schanuel, he gets hyped. He gets hyped. And I know I've had conversations back when, at the beginning of the year when it was Ohapi and Neto were supposed to be our 1 and 2. And I was saying how the two work well with each other in terms of personality, right? Because Neto is kind of more of a firecracker, right? We see him get mad at Hunter Brown when he's, getting hit by pitches. We see him getting fired up. We know that's what Christian Moore is. So you've got two energetic guys in the infield. Logan Ohapi, a little more even-keeled, right? And then Nolan Schanuel. He's kind of bipolar, and in the sense that he looks like a guy that most of the time is calm. But man, oh man, when it comes to these late innings and when he comes through, he's as excited as anyone. So you love to see it. Shout out to Nolan. Huge at-bat. And just so fitting, right? With all we've been talking about this past weekend in terms of the Manfred man, a guy on second, nobody out, and not being able to get it done. For us to get it done with a combination of small ball, right? Did we sack bunt? No. But was there still something we haven't seen in these late inning games, which is situational hitting, right? It seems like all of our walk-offs are just home runs or extra base hits. But for us to have a walk-off where we get a double, we get a ground ball single, and we get a walk-off walk, music to my ears. What a sight to see, right? For us to win a game that way, not to mention that it was against this team. And we will certainly talk about that after the break. But again, what a way to have a walk-off for this team. If you told me that we won this game 6-5 because Joe Adell hit a 2-run homer to walk it off, I would be very hyped, and I'd be pushing Joe Adell all-star snub narratives out the wazoo. But I would also be saying, okay, this is how we win games. But for us to win a game this way, a way that we don't typically win games, you absolutely love to see it. I'm going to take my break, and when I come back, we have plenty more to talk about. I'm not giving you an 18-minute show today. You guys waited an hour. We're gonna at least get to 30 minutes here for you guys. So we have to talk about what happened in the early innings. We have to talk about the d'Arnaud home run, Yusei Kikuchi. We got to get an outlook on the rest of the series. We will do all of that, and I'll prove to you guys, despite what you guys say, that I'm as sober as could be. We'll do all that after our break here on the Locked On Angels postcast. Now, on this Monday, today's show is brought to you by Monarch Money. If you ever wish managing your money felt easier with Monarch Money, it can. Whether you're growing your savings or planning a big purchase, Monarch puts you in the driver's seat. It's like having your own personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money is more than a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So in addition to managing your money, you're also building wealth. Like I've said a bunch of times, and something that kept me busy today, I'm currently planning for a very big purchase, a new car. And so, boy, oh boy, I've been using Monarch Money to look at my budget, look at the money I have, plan for the future, and also plan my spending for the future, analyze my spending in the past. You can do it all in one place, right? You don't need to go onto your banking app and go onto a budgeting app and go onto an investment app and go onto a lifestyle app and go onto an Amazon or whatever. It's all in one place. Monarch Money, use it. It's going to get everything done for you on one app. So take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year. Once again, Monarch Money, code LOCKEDONMLB. Back here live on a victory edition, and oh, how good it feels to say that. We have not gotten to say that much. Obviously, coming off a sweep in Toronto, a frustrating sweep, a sweep where I was arguing with a lot of you guys about what the sweep meant. A lot of you guys were saying that this team is terrible all of a sudden because we got swept by the Blue Jays. Reminder, we lost all 3 games by 1 run. We lost all 3 games in the late innings, right? And so I'm not going to be cruising in a new Lambo. You guys are hilarious. So I was saying, let's not sound the alarm. Were the games frustrating? Absolutely. Was it infuriating that we can't score with the runner on second base and nobody out? Absolutely. And so again, it makes tonight's win that much better. But the moral of the story is, once again, I did see someone in here saying it when I said I would have to wait an hour to do the show. Someone said, I will absolutely wait an hour to listen to Gavin talk about coin flips. That was hilarious. That was absolutely hilarious. You know I'm going to do it. Drinking game. Take a shot every time Gavin says coin flips. Here I am again. Another coin flip game. Another coin flip game, right? And so what can I say? This team, they get it done in coin flip games. And don't let those 3 games over the weekend fool you. This team is clutch. They're above average in these one-run games. They've been very good in them. And so for us to do it at home, it feels great. Absolutely love to see it. So let's talk about the beginning of the ball game, right? And I know I'm all over the place. We've got Trevor making accusations for me. We've got people asking when we're meeting. We've got people in here. There you go. Wait an hour for this. I love it. I love it. I agree, Larry. This needs to be a great homestand. You're asking me to predict the series. We will get to that. We will get to that. Absolutely. Like I said, I'm giving you guys a longer show today because I appreciate your loyalty for staying here for this long for this show. So we will certainly get into my predictions for the rest of the series in a little bit. But for now, come on, don't do that. I promise. I'm not lying to you guys. I promise I'm not. But this is hilarious. Aaron, the coin flip tally it's 1. I think it's higher than 1 at this point. I think it's already like 5 or 6. We get another coin flip win today, baby. Call me coin flip Carlson. But let's get to the beginning of this ball game because it did not start on a good note. Corey Seager, what a stud he is, and he gets it done again. A absolute moonshot. 430 feet, 110 exit velo, and this was just professional hitting, right? He falls behind 0-2. He takes 3 balls. 2 of them were not close. 1 of them really wasn't close, right? So they were somewhat easy takes. But again, the fact that you're able to go from 0-2 to 3-2 that's just being a professional hitter. And then he gets a 3-2 slider up and away in the zone. Kikuchi hung it. There's no other way to put it. Seager was waiting on it, and he absolutely crushed it. Straight away center. Very impressive. And just like that, what an eventful start, right? Because I didn't even mention the fact that Kikuchi, the first hitter of the ball game, takes a ball off of him, trips on the mound trying to make the play. There's questions about if he's hurt, right? He comes up, then has that at-bat with Seager, and just like that, it's 2-0, and we've got a banged-up Yusei Kikuchi. Oh, no, right? Oh, no. So you're not feeling good about it, right? The fact that the game starts like that, right? But for us to come back the way we did, very encouraging. Zach Neto, the man, gets a leadoff double. Again, Zach Neto, he's up and down at times, but boy, oh boy, does he know when to have a clutch game or a clutch hit, a clutch performance, right? He knows when to, right? And so he did it today, again, right away. Knows we're down 2-0, knows that Kikuchi might have a rough outing today, right? Immediate leadoff double. Again, another great at bat. 2-2. You swing at you get a bad called strike to start off. Then you swing at a bad pitch. It's 2-2. You get a fastball up and in against DeGrom. It's 100 miles an hour, and he rips it down the left field line for a leadoff double. Then we get productive hitting. Schanuel, again, the guy I trust the most to get productive hitting, takes an 0-2 slider, moves Neto over to third, and then Mike Trout, again, you can say all you want about him not getting RBI singles, about him not having RBIs unless he hits a home run, how he's only getting on via the walk right now. But again, another productive Mike Trout out, folks. He gets a sac fly here, and just like that 2-0 becomes 2-1 right away. We instantly let Jacob deGrom know, oh, no. We're here, right? So then Kikuchi settles in. He's able to have a 4 at-bat second, and then the Angels keep it going. Another double. This one from Jorge Soler. 1-0 fastball right down the middle. Absolutely drilled it. 111.3 exit velo. He almost hit it out. 380 feet. He gets the double. And then 2 batters later, a man did hit it out. And that man was Travis d'Arnaud. And can we talk about how big this was? All the conversations that are being had about Logan O'Hoppe, they are uncomfortable conversations. I don't want to have too many of them. But the fact that acquisition in the offseason, as small as it seemed, it is arguably, other than Kikuchi, our biggest move of the offseason. You can make the argument it's bigger than a Kenley Jansen. You can certainly, it's bigger than a Kevin Newman or Scott Kingery, and certainly it's bigger than even calling up a guy, from the minor leagues, right? What Travis d'Arnaud has been able to do in very limited opportunities is he hitting 300? No, right? Is he stellar behind the plate? No. But he's had timely swings, right? Again, all of his home runs, he now has 5. And I think 4 of the 5 have been absolutely massive hits. Massive. And today, no different. Against Jacob deGrom in a 2-1 ball game with a guy on, we know that we never hit home runs with guys on base. And another professional at bat. He takes 2 sliders down and away, spits at them both, and then deGrom hangs a slider to him, and he absolutely turns on it. Just 370 feet, but an amazing 2-run shot. That made it 3-2, and that was huge. That was absolutely huge. From there, Kikuchi, unfortunately, he never settled in, right? In the top of the third, a lot more trouble, and I mean a lot more trouble. Gives up a base hit, then walks Corey Seager. He strikes out Semien, but then Adolis Garcia hits a game-tying RBI single to Jorge Soler. I know a lot of people very critical of Jorge Soler tonight, and I get it, very valid. But the moral of the story is Garcia does get an RBI single on that one. That makes it 3-3. And then despite getting Wyatt Langford out, Jonah Heim comes up and he hits a ground ball decently hard. Chad Stevens can't make the play. Would have loved to see him make the play, but he doesn't. Seager scores. Was Kikuchi getting a lot of help from the field? No, he was not. But at least he got some help from his offense, something that he has not gotten all year, right? That's why he's an all-star despite having 2 wins or 3 wins, is because the guy consistently has solid starts. And right, and you can make the argument that this is one of his shakier starts of the ball game. He gives up 4 earned runs, despite there being a couple defensive plays that could have been played that were not made, right? And there was an error by Zach Neto when he was no longer in the game. It was a shaky game defensively, but offensively, it was not shaky, and we were able to get the job done. So I think it's very encouraging, right, that this team, without a Logan O'Hoppe, with the d'Arnaud in the lineup, right, with Chad Stevens contributing nothing offensively, let's admit it, right, with Jorge Soler typically contributing very little offensively, to look at a lineup where you got those guys. That's the bottom 4, right? It's the bottom 4 that killed us in that Blue Jay series. But for Soler, Rengifo, d'Arnaud to all contribute in huge ways, and for Kikuchi to not have his best stuff, and for us to still win the ball game, very encouraging. Very, very encouraging. So, again, those 2 runs in the top of the third were very tough. Kikuchi did not have his best stuff. 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, just 4 strikeouts. Did give up the home run as well. And at that point, you're still down in the ball game. It's 4-3. You're thinking, I don't know. Fortunately, Kikuchi was able to settle in. And again, that's what separates him from other pitchers, is even when he doesn't have his best stuff, he is able to get out of it in the third. He is able to have a 1-2-3 fourth. He is able to give up just 1 walk and otherwise 1-2-3 in the 5th. That's huge. He very easily could have crumbled, and it could have been 6-3 or something, but he did not crumble. He kept it at 4-3, and he therefore gave the opportunity for the Angels to get him off the schneid, and we did. Travis d'Arnaud, again, we get a 2-out single from Luis Rengifo, and then Travis d'Arnaud again. And so let's not waste any time. In case you didn't know it was coming, he's your player of the game, folks.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Again, for him to step in for O'Hoppe, and O'Hoppe's been struggling so much, and we're all rooting for O'Hoppe. I know people were in here screaming about trading him. You know I'm not. We were all sitting there rooting. We're all rooting for O'Hoppe, but it is very nice that he can maybe figure things out mentally on the sideline while he watches Travis d'Arnaud, and d'Arnaud's not coming in and giving us 0 for 5s. He immediately contributes. He's the player of the game. 2 huge swings, RBIs everywhere, 3 RBIs, 2 hits, a massive performance. The 2 biggest swings of the night. This one, another great at-bat where despite falling behind 1-2, he takes a sweeper. Armstrong probably didn't want to stay that high in the zone, and he's able to hit another deep ball, 384 feet. How ironic. This ball is 14 feet deeper than the home run, and yet he only gets a double for it. He scores Rengifo. You cannot forget that Rengifo had a 2-out single, and then you cannot forget what happened after this. Lamont Wade, of all people, comes into the ball game for Chad Stevens. We've been very critical of Ray Montgomery, but you got to give Ray Montgomery credit here. Puts Lamont Wade in the ball game, and Lamont Wade comes through. I can't believe it. He hits the ball scorchingly hard, 101 exit velo, and just like that, it's 5-4 Angels, and just like that, coin flip games, baby. We get it done. We get it done in coin flip games. You absolutely love to see it. I'm going to take one more break. I don't have an ad to read, so I'm literally just going to pause the show for 10 seconds. But after I take that break, we will come back with a third segment, special edition of the postcast tonight, where we will talk about the remainder of the series, what we're thinking here. In case you missed it, the Rangers did tie the game up in the top of the eighth. Bachman came in. We had Ray Montgomery get ejected in this inning. Crazy stuff going on. But the moral of the story here is wild pitches, madness going on, and Josh Smith is able to hit an RBI double. That was a crazy inning. I mean, go back and watch the eighth inning again. Absolutely crazy. Coin flip tally up to 6. Hilarious. Coin flip Carlson back at it again. But yes, it was a coin flip, and we got it done. Despite the run in the eighth for the Rangers to tie it, of course, we talked about what happened in the bottom of the ninth. We can't forget what Kenley Jansen was able to do in the top of the ninth as well. He comes in immediately. There's that Neto error. And then despite that error, immediately gets the best hitter on the team, Corey Seager, to ground into a double play, then strikes out Semyon. You cannot underrate what Kenley Jansen did in the top of the ninth to set up that bottom of the ninth walk-off walk. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to very quickly preview the rest of this series and talk about what is needed to be done in the remainder of this homestand before the All-Star break for it to be a successful homestand. We'll do that after a quick 10 to 15 second break here on the Locked On Angels postcast. Back here live one more time on the Locked On Angels postcast. You guys are making me laugh. You guys are get the mini brooms out. I love it. I shout out to all of you. Some people telling me I'm putting in my eye drops. No, I'm not putting my eye drops. No more throat spray. Fortunately, that's all handled. I appreciate, I appreciate you guys. It's been a crazy night. I'll be honest. This night went off the rails. Was supposed to do the show an hour and a half ago. And again, I'm pretty shocked and stunned. I'm not shocked because I know how supportive and amazing you guys are, but it's still sometimes I have to pinch myself to know that there's people here that are willing to not only watch me talk about sports in general, but also willing to wait an hour after I'm supposed to do the show because they want to be along for the ride. So I appreciate you guys so much. Again, it means a lot that you guys are willing to stick around and wait for me tonight. Once I got home, the technical difficulties were still bad. You can see me trying to do stuff as we speak. The phone wasn't working there. The computer's still giving me some hassle there. As you can see, no background today, but we will be all good. We will be all good tomorrow. I promise you. We'll have this all set up. I'm not going anywhere. We will be live immediately after the game. No doubt about it. Love all of you guys. Appreciate the kind words. Really, really mean it. But you guys are hilarious. Oh, I feel bad for the audio listeners tonight because they have no idea how crazy you guys are. Appreciate that, Trevor. The arm is okay. Maybe I can show you the scab. We're getting there. It's okay. You can't even really see it. This show's off the rails. But yeah, the arm is almost healed. We got to find a car. The throat's good. Pause, all out the wazoo. Let's talk about baseball. Oh my goodness. Let's please talk about baseball one more time before we end this absolutely wild stream. But I appreciate it, Aaron, saying this is the highlight of your night. Live reactions, that would be funny. But let's get to the rest of this series. Let's preview it because the Angels are now 44 and 46. We are still absolutely right there. Very, very close. Oh my gosh, Vinny, you guys are insane. Still very close to that 500 mark. We know we had the opportunity about 20 million times to finally get over the 500 mark. We haven't been able to do it. And right when we're the furthest below it we've been in a while, 3 games below, we immediately get a win, and now we're talking about 500 again. The moral of the story is just got the notification, Super Halo Bros in 10 minutes. Oh, you guys are funny. But the Angels have an opportunity here. I'm curious what you guys think in terms of what would be a successful homestand, right? I said a successful road trip would have been splitting between the Braves and the Blue Jays. And ironically, we partially did that, right? We split we beat the Braves, but then we got swept by the Blue Jays, right? If we would have gone 1-2 against the Blue Jays and we split that road trip 3-3, it would have been perfect. Shout out to you, Mike Trout. Shout out to you. All right. Feeling a division sweep. The Halo Bros do look at the chat. I promise. It's just that I'm absolutely knocked out, or they are absolutely knocked out. Probably they are asleep, I'm sure. But again, I thought a successful road trip would have been to win 3 and lose 3. Unfortunately, we were more than on pace to do that, winning the series against the Braves, but then we absolutely fell apart in Toronto, again, despite all 3 games being close. But look at this. You immediately make up for it with a win against the Rangers. And so now what? In your last 7 games, you are 3-4. That's fine. You've got 6 games coming up. What would be extremely successful? I mean, of course, it would be going 4-2 in this stretch, right? Because then you turn that 3-4 start to July into a 500 July record, right? That would be great. 5-2 homestand. You're being quite greedy, David. Oh my goodness, you guys are distracting me with what you're saying in this chat. But the moral of the story is the Angels have an opportunity to have it be a solid month of July going into the break, right? Obviously, it's not much of a break, just 4 days for the All-Star break. But if you can go, I think 3-3 would be fine. 4-2, even if you go 3-3, it's fine. But if you go 4-2 in these next 6, that will have been a 5-2 homestand. That will have been absolutely phenomenal. You will take that 300 million times out of 11 out of 10. You will take that every single time, right? So how are the Angels going to get there? That's the question. Well, you got over the biggest hump, right? You beat the Rangers when they started Jacob deGrom. That is huge. That is huge. Now, unfortunately, the Rangers have 2 phenomenal starting pitchers, right? They've got Jacob deGrom. They've got Nathan Eovaldi, who's 5-3, but it's a 1.75 ERA we're talking about. Fortunately, we have a guy who I personally think is just as talented in Jose Soriano. Is the ERA as good? Heck no. Is the record as good? Heck no. But in terms of talent, in terms of, at his best, is he as good? I do think so. And so Nathan Eovaldi, if you look at his recent starts, I always love to look at recent starts and see what the guy's been doing as of late. In his most recent start on July 2nd against the Orioles, he did have a good outing. 5 innings, just 2 hits, just 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, no runs. That was phenomenal. In the start before that, in late June against the Mariners, just 3 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, and 2 walks. So in his last 2 starts, 1 amazing, 1 not good at all. Let's hope that he alternates and once again has a bad start. And then if you look at Soriano, of course, he has been kind of up and down, but recently he's had a couple very, very impressive starts, right? He had that rough stretch, then he had a very impressive stretch. I don't know what to think of this Rangers lineup. Sometimes you look at it and you're terrified. Sometimes you look at it and you're like, this is pretty doable. Do I think Jose Soriano can roll through this lineup? I do think so. If you forget what Jose Soriano has done as of late, 2 starts ago, probably his worst start as a pro, but his last start was phenomenal. Against the Braves in Atlanta, 7 innings, just 3 hits, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, no earned runs. So certainly against a lineup that I think we all agree is better than the Rangers, he was untouchable. So why can't he do it again tomorrow? Why can't he do it again? If I had to predict it, I have no idea. I don't even want to predict it. I know you guys want me to. I don't want to jinx it. I feel like I always pick us to win the game and you guys always roast me. But gosh darn it, I'm doing it again. If you genuinely asked me what I thought was going to happen tomorrow, I'm thinking the Angels win tomorrow. So, yes, Eric, you're absolutely right. Winning tonight was huge, especially with deGrom on the mound. Soriano versus Eovaldi should be a pitching masterpiece. It probably should be. You guys are raging that I picked us to win. Don't, Gavin, you're always wrong. Lol, Gavin always jinx. No, we're going to lose. I'm sorry. I'm just telling you what I think. And I think we're going to win the ball game. So, oh my goodness, it's been 34 minutes. We need to wrap this one up. Soriano just fell to his knees, knowing that Gavin picked him. I'm predicting a combined 28 strikeouts from the 2 teams tomorrow. I think Eovaldi, unfortunately, is probably going to have a lot of swing and misses against us. And I'm picking Soriano to have a lot of swing and misses against them as well. So that's my take. I'm doing 2 bold calls. The Angels win 28 combined strikeouts, and the Angels win, we'll say 5-3 with 2 runs in the 8th inning, because that's just what the Angels always do. Vinny's asking when we're getting Gavin at the Big A. Gosh, the second I'm back in SoCal, I might go immediately. The problem is I don't know when I'm going to be back in SoCal. I'll be completely honest. I was supposed to fly back tomorrow, and now I'm not flying back to LA. I am driving back to LA once I get my car. So TBD, I'm hoping I can get a car by the end of the week. Buying a used car right now in 2025, probably the hardest thing on planet Earth. Probably harder than watching Logan O'Hoppe swing with 2 strikes. Probably harder than watching Scott Kingery play baseball. No offense to either of those guys. But it's very difficult. I'm hoping I can do it by the end of the week, drive home to LA on the weekend, and then be back in LA and then get to a game very, very soon after the All-Star break. So fingers crossed. Do we make the playoffs? Heck, we're 35 minutes into the show. And so I will just say it right now. I don't think we make the playoffs, unfortunately. I think there is a scenario where we are in the wild card race in the last couple of weeks. Do I trust us to win those games and make it? Unfortunately, I don't. But the goal, in my opinion, is for us to be in a race, right? Imagine how much experience, how valuable that experience will be for guys like Neto and Schanuel and O'Hoppe and Adele and everybody to be in a playoff race. That's what I want. So if you have to ask me right now if we make the playoffs, I still say no. This is still a average at best baseball team, but average gets you in an AL wild card race. And that's what I want. So with all that being said, we're going to wrap this one up. No, there's no party at my house. I'm going to bed very, very soon because that shows how tired I am that you guys are thinking I'm other things when I am not. I'm just absolutely exhausted. I need to go to bed. You guys need to as well. So, yes, I know you guys are saying you like the longer show. Hey, I'm just following the rules that are here. The shows are supposed to be 20 minutes. They're supposed to be 18, and I give you guys 21, 22. So, I will continue to do that for you guys. But again, shout out to you guys. You guys say you love me. I love you guys. You guys are being good sports. The fact that you waited an hour for this, I really, really appreciate it so much. If you're new here, I promise it's not that crazy. Normally I'm on 10 minutes after the show. Normally, the comment section isn't as insane. And normally I have a background with graphics, and normally I'm a lot more succinct in what I'm saying. But hey, even in those times, the show is just as fun. So you guys are the best. Please, if you're new or if you're a returner, leave a like, comment, all that good stuff. Love you guys so much. I will see you guys tomorrow night at the normal time, hopefully after a 5-3 Angels win. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Go Angels.